Life as we know it won't exist without it. And yet it seems we don't treat it like a precious commodity. Every day about 6 billion people are exposed to different kinds of pollutants. The health risks we face from air pollution are far from our minds in our daily lives. Air pollution not only affects the industrialized nations, but developing countries as well. A study shows that more than 1 million people get sick and about 5,000 people die prematurely every year due to air pollution in urban areas in the Philippines. The government spends about $20 million yearly in health care for air pollution-related diseases. Yearly income losses from air pollution-related deaths have risen to more than $120 million. Air pollution brings irritation to the eyes, nose, and throat. 57% experienced breathlessness or had difficulty in breathing, and 27% blamed skin problems to pollution. Vehicle emissions is a primary source of pollution in Metro Manila. In 2007, the total number of registered motor vehicles in the Philippines was 5.53 million. Vehicle emissions are the main source of air pollution in Asian cities. The number of cars in Asian urban centers is constantly speed racing as countries modernize and income levels rise. But there seems to be a breath of fresh air from this problem. According to Pacific Paint, a paint company in the Philippines, they have collaborated with a group of scientists from Europe to develop a project to reduce air pollutants. It converts air pollutants into harmless particles.
Well, air pollution is a major problem in urban areas all over the world today, especially here in Asia. The biggest victims are children, because they are the most susceptible to the problems of air pollution. They breathe more air per kilogram body weight, they spend more time outdoors, and they're more active outdoors. And we need to really work together as a society to address this problem. And these vehicles emit air pollutants. Nitrogen oxides, in particular, NOx, is a main roadside air pollutant that has a lot of negative health effects. And to have a paint that can help solve that problem was something very exciting and something we really wanted to pursue. A very elegant technology available, very simple, practical, yet elegant technology to address the problem of air pollution. Because today there's nothing we can do really on an individual level to help take out air pollutants that are there. KNOxOUT works through photocatalysis. Photo is light, and catalyst is something that quickens a natural reaction without getting used up in itself. This is a form of ultrafine titanium dioxide called crystal active, which is the photocatalyst. Once it's exposed to light, it transforms ordinary water vapor into free radicals that attack air pollutants like nitrogen oxides or NOx and volatile organic compounds, VOCs. And these transform into acids that are then react with calcium carbonate in the paint to lock the nitrogen oxide into calcium nitrates, which is a form of fertilizer. So if you think of it, what we're doing is we're transforming harmful gas. We lock it up into a solid particle, which actually is useful as a fertilizer. So it's the conversion of something harmful to something that's non-toxic to the environment and to people.
Its ability to destroy air pollution, such as NOx, has been well documented in the literature and scientific press for a number of years now. But what's new and unique about the Crystal Active product is that we've managed to stabilise the product so it can be used in many different applications, such as clear coatings, paints and building materials. So now, combating air pollution can be part of everyday building maintenance.
The biggest trial of this technology, air cleaning paint, was actually done here in Metro Manila on a metro rail station along the busiest road. With the help of the Manila Observatory, we monitored the air pollution levels, the NOx levels in particular, in that area 6 months before we painted and then 6 months after we painted. And we saw statistically significant reduction in air pollution, in the NOx levels in that area. We saw those go down by as much as 20%.
It's just testing how you experience it when you go past it.
Tapio Snellman is a London-based filmmaker and visual artist. He has been commissioned to do murals along EDSA, a major highway in the Philippines, using the BOYSEN KNOxOUT paint.
I did quite a lot of research on Manila, on Cubao, and tried to take my inspiration from the location. Since the site is an underpass where the EDSA Avenue goes down through the city floor underground, so I played with the idea of an X-ray view through the underground of the city, where you see all the infrastructure which supports all the life above ground and keeps the city running. So that's why it's this kind of crazy imaginary landscape of pipes and different infrastructure elements, and also an underside view of the city, of the buildings, which are actually on EDSA. So the buildings which you see on the paintings, they're actually imagery taken from that site. It's a combination of drawing and painting and photography. I think the project wouldn't have been very interesting for me if it was simply about decorating a city or cosmetic intervention, but because it was about actually the primary function of this painting was to clean and air.
What essentially with KNOxOUT we can do is we paint a surface, that surface becomes an air purifier. And a lot of surfaces need to be painted anyway. So we can make a lot of all the surfaces around the city into air purifiers that can really help reduce the level of nitrogen oxides, which are a major pollutant of concern for air quality people, and has very detrimental health effects and is a precursor for smog. So comparing the amount of nitrates on a paint film of KNOxOUT versus ordinary paint, we could calculate how much NOx was converted. And by the most conservative studies, the emissions of about 30,000 cars passing through that station every day, their emissions were being cleaned up by the KNOxOUT in the station. We actually find that from the calculations, it's more or less, you can say, 1 square meter of KNOxOUT painted in that station was cleaning about the same amount of NOx as a mature tree. So in essence, each of these arcs along this busy roadway EDSA, which are 1,000 square meters each, really sort of the equivalent of planting 1,000 trees in terms of reducing NOx levels. Aside from the Manila trial here, which was the biggest of its kind in the world, our partner Crystal Active has also done trials in London, in a parking area, in Paris. They pretty much confirmed the same results that we got in Manila. We've had several projects internationally, like in Mexico. A German company that painted it on depolluting tiles that were used in a hospital in Mexico. The Sakai City, it's a suburb of Osaka, they painted all the streetcar stations along this road with KNOxOUT, which is a good way to protect the people who are waiting in those stops since they're in the middle of the road. The Hong Kong International Airport, try the product. We're working with a company in Berlin that actually does outdoor tiles painted with KNOxOUT. In fact, the KNOxOUT EDSA street art project has generated a lot of interest all over the world, from Malaysia, from the United States, from Finland, from Belgrade, to do similar kinds of projects.
Recently, BOYSEN's Project EDSA, or Everyone Deserves Safe Air campaign, was proclaimed the Grand Prix winner at the 2012 Disruption Awards, beating entries from 80 countries. The project, which has caught both local and international attention, aims not only to beautify the busiest thoroughfares, but clean the air around it as well.
Because it's really a empowering technology and allows everyone to be part of the fight against air pollution. So it's a very, very cost-efficient solution, changes the dynamics of how we look at paint and what paint can do. And in that sense, we're really proud that it's a Filipino paint company that was able to introduce this globally.
A virtual art attack against air pollutants, murals which not only please the eyes, but literally give us space to breathe.